Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad. Your dad doesn't support you.
You should know. You worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. Got it. Got it. We added those to the intro. We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 208. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. I am joined, as always, by, with the same hat, my good friend Tanner.
Got it.
Tanner, when are you going to get some buds? I think you need some buds.
Never.
What are your thoughts on that?
I like having wireless headphones. I don't think I'll ever have buds.
These buds are wireless.
Oh, yeah, they are, huh? No, I don't want them, though. That's cool, though. Thanks.
Well, your favorite streamer uses buds. What are your thoughts on that?
Who, HyperRat?
HyperRat does. Yeah, those moon drops are apparently really good. I don't think that they have some wireless ones, but they're not the ones
Stone?
Most people use. Landmark is who I was referring to. Yeah, he's butted up.
Yeah.
Why don't you just drop $8,000 on some custom earbuds like Landmark, dude?
Yeah, well,
or whatever
no
he
one
spent.
likes us. So.
He spent like actually $2,000, huh?
He didn't spend anything. He was sponsored.
Well, yeah, for sure.
We're great for that company. There's a bunch of people buying them now.
All right, we're live. Today, we are going to be talking about Call of Duty. There is a lot of news to talk about and some interesting patch notes and changes already in effect as well. Now, as a reminder, if you're new here, we timestamp the episode. So if you want to skip to a particular section, you can do that. Look in the video description on YouTube, and there are chapters. You should just see it by scrubbing. Or in the show notes, if you're on a podcast app, you can just go ahead and skip whatever the fuck you want. Now, with that said, we got a good ep planned today. Very excited to get into it. It's been a while. It's been an entire week, Tanner. How does it feel to be away from the pod for a week? What are your thoughts on that?
Best week of my life. Yeah. Fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it the best week of your life?
It doesn't feel like we've been away, because it may feel like that for our dumb shit listeners, but we recorded 2 Patreon episodes in the last few days.
Yeah,
so.
we've been busy this week regardless. So yeah, for sure.
Shit. Sorry that you guys aren't on that grind set like us, but we've been on that grind set. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're mad because you haven't listened to the podcast in a week, patreon.com/thedropshot. Speaking of which, welcome 7 bonus episodes a month to our new patrons. We've got some new gold patrons. Chuats, the bus driver, got it. And he's got a school bus as his Patreon
I believe that's a short
picture.
Bus.
It probably is if you're a patron of the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, yeah. Although, I don't know if he's driving it, actually.
That's
think
him.
maybe
you can
he
see
makes
him up there
noises in the back of the bus and pretends he's driving it and thinks he actually is.
Got it. Well, he's gold,
that is
so
in
probably
fact possible. Yeah, of course, exactly.
Gold,
so, so Chuats, the bus driver, welcome, buddy.
Sure.
Arnold H. Got it. And Fiva Noel.
He's from SoCal for sure, that name.
Yeah, that's a SoCal or Texas name for sure. Yeah.
Shout out to Arnie.
Which is not there's anything wrong with that. And Fiva Noel. Change it. Welcome, boys and boys. I don't believe Noel. Can that be a male name?
No. Maybe a little bitch name.
Well.
FEVA, the Federation of European Equine Veterinary Association. That's what his name means.
And welcome to our new platinum patrons, Tin Samurai. And I normally don't say last names, but this person, I think I just have to say their last name, right? Because this is a historic figure We are honored that they are a patron, though we are displeased that it's only platinum.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a dollar bill in your honor and you don't have 20 of them? What are we doing? George Washington, friend of the pod. Kekona clap. Welcome, boys, to the Patreon at the platinum tier. Much appreciated. Tin Samurai, change it, by the way. And George Washington. Very kind of you both. And last and most importantly, a nice little upgrader, YY Gonzo, upgrading to Damascus.
He's a smart guy.
Real big dick smart guy. And he's extra smart too, because not only did he upgrade to Damascus, but he also sent us $100 to sponsor the Dropshot Invitational number 4. Now, unfortunately, the sponsorship slots are filled, and he came late. So we said, thanks, get scammed, and pocketed his money.
Yeah, didn't ask him if he wanted a refund or anything. We just kept it.
That is, of course, true. Yes. So what we could have done, in an alternate dimension, we said, hey, you want to be a sponsor? Do you want your money back? And he said, nah, fuck it. Keep it. Like a big dick Chad. Big dick Chad energy move. So he just let us keep the 100 United States dollars, which is extremely kind and generous. So Gonzo, thank you very, very much, dude. We really appreciate it. Sorry you got in late. It's your fault, but you have plenty of time. But nonetheless, we very much appreciate the generosity. That means a lot. And thank you a lot, dude, for real. For the upgrade and for the 100 bones. We very much appreciate it. And you. I don't know why your name is YY Gonzo, though. Are you like super male? Like you're so male that you don't have an X chromosome? Is that what we're doing here?
Maybe.
I think you are missing a chromosome, frankly. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. Or you have an extra one? I think the extra one's the bad. They're probably both not great. Whatever. Gonzo,
all people
thanks,
are created
dude.
equal. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yes, yeah. And no one's better at anything than anyone else. So, got it. Gonzo, thank you very much, dude. Next announcement, sign up for the goddamn tournament. If you're here live, you have 2 days. If you're hearing this on an app, then Friday the 25th is the last day to sign up for the tournament. Tanner, can you do us a quick live check? How many teams are signed up at this time?
Wow. We got 4 teams since I checked yesterday.
Ooh, little procrastination, huh?
So we're at 20 teams now. Now I'm sure people always back out last second, so maybe minus 1 or 2 of those.
Probably, yeah.
20 teams. What was the cutoff? 24?
I believe it was 24.
So we're close. Yeah, I almost don't want this to be regular BR now. This will be a fucking crazy mini tournament if this is mini. That'll be dope.
It would. Yes, it would, but also sign up. Because I suspect there are a lot of people that are just waiting till the last minute. And I think we're probably going to get like 5 more signups. Maybe even 10 tomorrow. Like, actually. I think a lot of people
do sign
just
up
procrastinate.
last second, yeah.
So we're either going to have a super fucking crazy mini tournament or a regular BR tournament. And in either case, signups, last day to do them is the 25th. And we will not be accepting late signups. So please get in if you want. You can do that through Discord. But yeah, that's good to see.
That's 60 people. So yeah, it doesn't... We've been kind of acting like not that many people signed up, but that's about, I think, as many people have ever signed up for a tournament. Because that one Rebirth one, we had 2 lobbies. I wonder how many people total that was.
That was 40 times 2 minus 6.
But they weren't
74.
Full, I don't think.
They weren't all full teams.
So
yeah,
it was probably about
60.
what we're at in the 60s. All right, so that's good. You guys aren't complete shit as much as I thought you guys were. It's probably because we put out that Patreon episode, honestly. Got people hyped.
Yes, and as a reminder, speaking of which, our I think it was our last Patreon episode was our Damascus only behind the scenes episode. It was fun and exciting. It was interesting in my view. We've already gotten some feedback on that, which has been good. And thank you, Benji and others, for your feedback. Appreciate that in Discord. Yeah. But before that, we had done a tournament prep episode for Platinum and Damascus only, and in which we talked about what we would do if we were participating in the tournament. And I think that episode went really well. And we got some good feedback on that ep too. I think we talked through some things you would expect us to talk about, but also I think we brought up some points that a lot of people just didn't really consider. And it might even change some people's loadouts and game plans. I think we got some feedback to that effect, in fact, on Discord already. So it's already been demonstrated to help competitors do better. What are your thoughts on that episode we did, Tanner?
Yeah, one of the things we did talk about was using the PPSH if it was broken. It has been nerfed, so that isn't the case anymore. But I don't know. Sorry, something stuck in my throat. But yeah, I think we made some good points on drop spots, maybe what loadouts to use. I did see that from Ben, actually. He said something about that too, but kind of using what you're more comfortable with rather than what's the meta and maybe you haven't used it very much. So, you know, stick with what you're used to. Use your dog shit kilo because you're trash. Just stick with it. You know, things like that. So I thought we had some nice pointers for people. And it got people to sign up, I guess, so get scammed.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed to have done that. So if you want to listen to that tournament prep episode, it is on Patreon now. It is live right now and will remain so. And it's available if you're Platinum or a Damascus patron. So if you're Gold, you can just upgrade real quick, instant access. If you're not a patron, sign up. It's so simple. And I think it actually will offer some utility to most people, if not everyone, because I don't think many people... Well, I mean, I don't think any of you have a triple-digit IQ, frankly, so you need some help. And we are offering that to you. So patreon.com/thedropshot, 7 bonus episodes per month. And yeah, I enjoyed doing that episode too. And I was even kind of surprised at the things we kind of thought about, the angles we kind of came up with. And then the obvious shit, what guns to use, what perks to use, why not. And then we did also juxtapose what we would use for a mini Royale versus regular BR tournament. That does change loadouts a little bit. It does change strat a little bit. We talked about that as well. So we kind of covered all of our bases there and offered some perspective and advice on both of those contingencies. So I think that's a good ep. You guys should go listen before the tournament. There you go. So I need to take this retainer out. Tanner, what is this last announcement?
Last announcement here. Yeah. So yeah. Did anyone know it was Raz's birthday on Sunday? Apparently not, because you guys are dog shit. It's so crazy because in the past, people subbed to us. People gave us money on our birthdays. We've received items for our birthdays. Raz, what'd you get this year? Fucking nothing, you stupid bitch. What'd you get? It's crazy. People just don't like us anymore. So if you guys want to send Raz a late birthday gift, send it to the P.O. box. He really likes, again, as I've mentioned before, he owns a Jeep. So he likes Jeep stuff. He's big on hats. You can send something like that. He really likes bourbon. That's another great thing to send to him.
Those are correct.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just kind of embarrassing, right? It's kind of just embarrassing being hated by everyone, isn't it? Isn't it crazy?
It is sad that people used to like us and now they don't like us. It is pretty interesting.
Yeah. What'd you get on your birthday? Nothing?
From these people?
Yeah.
Not a goddamn thing.
That's insane.
I got 3 viewers on Twitch. That's what I got.
Well, you streamed Hearthstone, yeah. So I
did stream Hearthstone. I'm such a god, by the way.
And you streamed on Sunday. No one watches Twitch on Sundays.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know. I don't really care that much. But yeah, you guys don't like us. That's the announcement. You don't like us, and we hear you, and we understand.
Yeah, I agree.
So very cool and exciting. But anyways,
send birthday cards to the P.O. box as long as they have cash in them.
Do not Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, cash.
If
Yeah, we
you
don't
put
care about the
cash in it,
card.
yeah.
We won't
I
even
don't
read
give a
the
fuck
card.
about your card.
We
Yeah.
won't read it. We'll open it, take the cash out. I'll take the cash out because I checked the PO box, and I'll say,
then-
"Oh, someone sent you a card. There's nothing in it though." He's like, "Oh, well, just throw it away." I throw it away, and I take the cash.
That would be what would happen.
Yeah.
Yes. So, got it. Okay. Well, other than that, that is it for announcements. Let's get this puppy started. If you were listening for the jingle, here it is.
Brutimus, thanks for the tier 1 for 21 months in a row. Holy shit. Wow, Brute, that's a long time, dude. 21 indeed. Happy birthday. Happy 21st month birthday. Appreciate you, King. Long time supporter, buddy. Good to see you back. Thank you. Yeah, he's big on his Breville Barista Express machine as well. Brown note, so you can send espresso related items to for his birthday. Yeah.
Tanner resents me because I'll always, in perpetuity, be capable of making superior coffee espresso drinks.
Got it.
Than him.
What'd you make this morning?
So.
What'd you have? Drip coffee. Drip coffee or what? Black drip coffee? Is that what you had this morning?
People sleep on drip coffee, dude.
No.
Espresso is...
No.
The problem with espresso is you have to mix it with... Either you drink it straight, like a caffeine addict,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Or you mix it with a bunch of milk, like an asshole.
Yeah.
And then someone who's lactose intolerant, such as you, shits their pants 8 times in the morning.
Been drinking this, haven't even had the urge to even fart, really.
Keep that energy. Yeah.
Not even
and when
fart
you do, you're
now.
going to shit your pants.
When I drink regular coffee now, I think, how the hell do people do this shit? It's disgusting tasting, man. It's disgusting. We went to we went to breakfast yesterday morning.
So weird, dude.
Regular coffee from I went to Flappy Jack's yesterday. Regular coffee from there. Dog shit. I don't know if they just have the worst coffee in the world or if it's just I'm not used to having regular coffee now. Shit. Coffee is just dog shit.
That is so weird.
Just say that you're broke and you can't afford an espresso maker. I mean, just say it, man.
I mean, you know what it is? I bet you probably make the fucking sugariest, sweetest, candy trash espresso drinks with like a quarter shot of espresso in it. And then say, "Oh God, this is so good." No shit.
2 shots of espresso.
It's got whipped cream and cinnamon sugar and fucking half and half. And it's sweet as fuck.
Whole
and
milk, which is the only type
you.
of milk you should be having. Whole milk.
That's true.
2 shots of espresso, a little bit of sugar, a little tiny drop of vanilla syrup in the espresso, and then before you froth the milk, you put a little bit more in there to really hit it. It's not too sweet though, not at all. No.
Sounds awfully sweet.
Got it.
You're a child. All right, welcome to the show. Today, again, we have a lot to talk about. Let's dive right the fuck in. First, playlist updates for this week. Caldera, Warzone. Vanguard Royale, quads, cool, don't care. Regular BR, solos, duos, trios, and quads, huge, love it. Fantastic, because Vanguard Royale's dog shit. Vanguard Plunder quads. Clash 50 versus 50. Good for leveling guns and shit. Not fun, but good for leveling guns. So there you go. And then Rebirth Island, Resurgence, duos, trios, and quads. And then notably, also, the armored convoys are rolling out, dude. The armored convoys. So this is live right now. The new armored convoys are in, but the Nebula 5 bombs are not yet in. As far as we know.
I think they come in next week. By the way, so this
might be possible they drop his loot from the convoys, maybe already.
I don't know, but they specifically mentioned in next week's playlist update that the Nebula 5 bombs are in transport. So I would imagine that just means they're spawning in general now. But so I took this from the one we posted last time, but Raven posted this today, by the way, and cut out the armored convoys rollout. So has anyone played this morning yet in the last hour or two? Are the armored convoys in? Yeah, it was just the top part. They cut it off right below Rebirth. So I'm like, are they not coming out yet, or they just didn't feel the need to put that in the playlist update? So I don't know if they're in or not. I haven't played. I haven't heard anything about it on Twitter.
They would be, but yeah, maybe not. But when they do get added, that's going to be different. We still don't know exactly how they're going to work, and we talked about this when these were first announced and talked about by Activision. And we had a lot of questions like, does one spawn? Does it spawn every game? Is it in the same location every game? Can it spawn in one of 3 spots? Do 5 spawn in one of 10 spots? Or 5 of 10 spots? We don't have any idea yet. We know that there's going to be at least one. And is it guaranteed to be in every game? I would assume yes, at least one. We know there's one at Fields. Is that the only one? And is it always at Fields? There's a lot of questions still. And the caliber of the loot, do streaks damage it? I am once again very curious, especially, by the way, in the current Warzone meta, where a cluster strike is in half of every single box you open. If clusters do damage these convoys, they are going to be incredibly easy to destroy. Because you're always going to have 8 cluster strikes on your team. Always. They drop far too often. There are far too many of them. You don't have to buy one. Doesn't matter. You will find one within 30 seconds. And then you can just cluster an armored convoy for at least good loot, if not insane loot. So we'll see how this plays. But I'm almost... Yeah. I don't know. Depending on the loot, maybe I don't want kill streaks to do damage to the convoys, but it would be dumb if they didn't. So we'll see how this plays out. But there are still a lot of questions. But it'll change up the game at the very least a little bit.
It will for sure change up the game, yeah.
Yeah.
So. I'm trying to get confirmation if they're in or not. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on that. We might find out during this podcast. So next, some patch notes, changes already in effect. Not too much in here, although some notable things. The CDL team skins are live in Warzone and Vanguard. They did this last year, so you can buy like a pack, like the optic pack, and it'll give you the operator skins, an emblem, a watch, a weapon charm, a sticker, and a calling card, and a weapon camo that you can put on like every weapon. So, and it's 2 operator skins, home and away.
Yeah, light and dark.
Let me be clear. If I gave a shit about CDL, this would be cool. If I had like a favorite team, this would be pretty dope. Because this is a lot of shit. Most of it doesn't matter. But the operator skins are cool. The weapon camo is cool. Even the weapon charm is pretty cool. So I like it. I don't know how much they are.
$9.99.
$10, yeah. Okay. So
it's not
whatever.
You can't use COD points for them. You have to use actual cold hard cash, I believe.
Yeah.
But they look shit, to be honest,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah. They haven't changed. They've looked the same last year. They're trash. Uninteresting. I don't know. They could do so much better on these weapon skins for the teams. Like, I've seen like Valorant shit. I don't know if it's like real or if it's people like making their own, but the skins they make for these teams are insane looking. They look so dope, man. And then COD does the same fucking camo pattern for every single team. It just changes up based on their colors. There's no originality there. It's so boring. Again, $25 million league, and this is what you get. A joke. An absolute joke. So I think they look terrible, but if you're a little CDL sweat, that's always one of the top skins that they run. So there you go. You can buy it now, you little rat.
I think the main reason I would get this would be the operator skins. But again, and you get 2 of them, which is cool, like the home and away. So it's basically just like it alternates the primary and secondary color. So you get a little bit more variety there too. I think that's kind of cool. But I don't give a shit. I don't have a favorite team, so I'm not going to be using this. But if I did, if I was balls deep in CDL, like some people are, then I would really like this. So anyway, it's in Vanguard as well as Warzone, by the way. So there you go. And it seems to be the case that you can equip these on any operator you want, which is also pretty cool. Like, I wonder if you did it on Nikto, if you'd still have like a mask on.
No, I don't think that's how it works. Wasn't it for like the default operator or something in the last games?
Oh, maybe it's the default Vanguard operators. That's
or it's
possible.
like,
that's possible.
Or it's like its own set. It's like its own operator, I thought.
Oh, yeah. Last time it was like the CDL guy. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, so.
It could be that, too.
Yeah.
That dude looks pretty cool in the last game, by the way, in Cold War. There was one
Not
that
a single Cold War operator looked cool, so stop.
No, it was cool, dude.
Was
Yeah, it was just a generic dude who wasn't on a team, but it was otherwise the same bundle, but it was just like black and white, and it was just CDL themed, not a particular team. And I thought it looked cool. You had like your head was all covered up. You had like black and white. It was dope. Anyway,
Ox is saying
whatever.
you can put the skin on like 8 of the Vanguard operators.
Okay.
So maybe in this game you can put it on every single one of the default Vanguard operators. Maybe that launched with the game or something. Those operators.
I suspect that
That's
is the
dope,
case.
though.
Yeah,
That's cool.
So there you go. $10 actually is not that bad. Call of Duty's fleece people for
Activision
more.
takes
So.
$9.50 of it, and the team gets 50 cents. But yeah.
Yeah, which they then have to pay back in the form of 25 million for a franchise spot. Very cool.
Yeah.
Next, ranked play is live in Vanguard. I'm again surprised there was and still remains a lot of chatter about Vanguard ranked on the timeline, the Twitter timeline. Not super lately, but somewhat lately. Hashtag Ukraine. You guys know the whole World War III thing, which we might get into, but not now. But before that, ranked play was like shockingly pretty pertinent, or present rather, on my timeline, which I think means it's good. I don't know if it's like well received, but at least a lot of people are talking about it. When Cold War ranked play came out, I didn't hear a goddamn thing about it. I didn't hear anything about it after it launched. No one played it. No one cared. But people are at least tweeting like, oh, I'm playing ranked right now. Like, it's not even like an endorsement necessarily, but it's actually getting play now. Have you seen a lot of ranked play buzz chatter?
I've seen a lot of people saying ranked play is the only good thing about Vanguard, blah, blah. But this goes back to what I was saying last time. The same person that's saying that fucking hates the game. They're like, oh, ranked play is the best part. It's because it's new. You don't like the video game, so why would you like playing ranked play that much? You're going to hate it after a few days anyways. I think that's kind of where this is going. But yeah, I saw like one screenshot from that dude Strafe, and he said every Vanguard ranked play lobby, and there was whatever it is, 8 people in a lobby. He was, of course, the only person on KVAM, and every other kid in the lobby was on a PC on a controller. So that's kind of what I was saying. I'm like, I don't want to play ranked play because I know it's going to be all of these PC controller 18-year-old kids absolutely sweating their ass off, literally trying to get into the CDL. So it sounds cool, but realistically, I just know it won't be fun at all. And with the Vanguard time to kill, no thanks.
The Vanguard time to kill is the biggest turnoff for me, because if you're playing ranked, you know everyone's going to be using absolute meta shit, holding angles, playing like relatively smart, at least compared to a pub lobby, and then plus the Vanguard TTK, it's going to be rough, So, yeah, I don't know. I do think we should maybe try it, though, and do like a Patreon episode reviewing it. I think that could be fun.
I thought about that, too, but we would have to play it enough to get ranked, which you need to play, 10 games to get ranked? I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to mentally handle playing that much ranked play, but we could give it a shot. We could try.
I think it could be fun.
I just hope we rank super, super low and go up against trash kids. Maybe we can actually purposely throw, so we get ranked really low. Yeah, and then
say ranked is
and then
so
once
fun.
we're actually ranked, we just start decicimating kids. That could be kind of cool.
I mean, we could, yeah.
5 games. You only need to play 5 games. We may be able to do it. But yeah, you'll end up hating it more than I will, so keep that in mind.
Jotted it down. One of the things...
Bitches.
Got it. One of the things that I miss about multiplayer is caring about winning and losing. And that's one of the reasons I fondly remember BO4 despite its very numerous problems, is because it was no crossplay back then. And the community was so small that you would see the same people often, and lobbies stayed together after a match. So you could be fighting against the same 3-man for 2 hours straight. and then people start shit talking, and then people care about winning. And that makes multiplayer so much more fun. Whereas now, I don't give a fuck about winning. I haven't cared. What are we playing to win?
Yeah,
I haven't played to win in 3 years now. When I used to, because I cared about winning. So maybe ranked would be fun too, because I would actually care about winning more. And that would definitely, if I cared about winning, it would make multiplayer so much more fun. I think we'll probably do a Patreon episode on this next month. We've written it down. That sounds fun. I'll make Tanner do it. Okay. Or I'll dock his pay. So, anyways, it's live. So there you go. There was also a patch 2 days ago for Vanguard. A couple changes, not too much, but we're going to talk about the important changes, not all of them. The MP40 has now less damage range. Its damage range was decreased. This is fine, I guess, but the MP40 was not a problem in Vanguard multiplayer. This
was, I think, more of a ranked play type thing.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the only guns they run are the auto and the MP40. And I had heard that the MP40 was basically killing at AR ranges, like in an AR time to kill. So that's probably kind of why they did this, because it happened right when ranked play came out. So
yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so there you go. So maybe made ARs useful. And then some streak changes. The spy plane enters and exits the play space significantly faster, making it more vulnerable to being destroyed. So yeah, that makes sense actually. Because when you call in a spy plane, you immediately get the UAV effect. So you immediately get the red dots. But since it's so far away, no one can destroy it for like a solid 5-10 seconds. And so if it enters right away, people can shoot it down right away. So it's like a nerf to the spy plane.
Well,
and then
I think this may be
spy plane.
Bugged because everything I read on Twitter says that they're going so fast now you can't even hit them. So they probably made this change and now it's just bugged. I haven't played Vanguard since this came out, but that's what I kept hearing. So they made it sound like they're easier to shoot down, but from what I've gathered, it's the exact opposite. Sledgehammer, by the way.
Sledgehammer, by the way, yeah. So what I explained was their intention. That is not the case, though.
Yeah, that's what their patch notes say, but from what I've gathered, that's not at all what's happening.
Yeah, so they'll probably fix that in a couple of months, so we'll let you guys know when that happens.
March
so same exact change for the counter spy plane, by the way. So bombing run also, improvements to the flight path, determination logic to further avoid damaging the player who called it in. Yeah.
Day one.
Time, by the way.
Day one.
I stopped running this so long ago that I forgot it was a streak. I'm not kidding. No one runs bombing run for this reason.
This should have been patched within a week of the game coming out.
Sick, yeah. So
Sledgehammer.
And who knows?
Never develop a game again, please, Sledgehammer.
Yeah,
holy shit.
And then decrease damage and damage radius of bombs. So it's worse now too. Cool. Got it. So still no reason to run this. And then Attack Dogs added an audio cue to further communicate the position of a nearby attack dog. I don't know what audio cue that could be, but this is good because attack dogs sneak up on me all the time in Vanguard. So if they like bork, if they bark at me sooner.
Borpa
bark at me sooner. That's good because attack dogs they're a really good streak, even if there are audio cues telling me where nearby dogs are. So this is a good change because right now that streak is fucking insane. Attack dogs always gets you a lot of kills. So I'm happy with that change. And then combat pacing is now available for hardcore modes in quick play. Cool. And then there was also today, in fact, a small Warzone patch. We're going to go through all of this. Updated contract distribution in Battle Royale, Vanguard Royale, and Plunder modes to better favor bounties. Let's go, baby. So this is an issue Tanner and I have been talking about since they removed, and before, big game bounties. where they lowered the propensity of regular bounties to account for the big game bounties. And then they took out the big game bounties, and then there were no bounties in the game anymore. They finally fixed it. Thank God. Raven, thanks for listening to the pod. It's really nice when you listen to people who actually play the game so that you can make changes that need to be made, such as this one, right? So you're welcome, Raven person who listens to this podcast, because I know you're there, bitch.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot last week.
And thanks. Yeah, we did. Yeah. And no one else is talking about this, so I refuse to believe Raven isn't listening. Yeah, it's so simple.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a goddamn peep about how few bounties there are. So
yeah.
So you guys are welcome. There are more bounties in Warzone now, and it's literally just because of us. So you're welcome. But that's good. Great change. Happy to see it, if it's true. Gulag loadout adjustments added gas grenades, medical syringes, and thermites. Okay, that's fine. Gas isn't great, but whatever. But also removed stun grenades. Finally. Holy shit. It happened. They've removed stuns from the Gulag. I'm surprised by this, especially after all of their talk of lowering the skill gap. I'm frankly shocked that they've done this, because this does not lower the skill gap. It raises it. But I'm thrilled there are no more stuns in the Gulag. This is just fantastic news. I mean, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah,
really.
I know. This is big, actually. This kind of came out of nowhere.
It did come out of nowhere, and it's far too late, but still, this is excellent.
And again, this came after they already
nerfed stuns.
Exactly. Because they care. Because they only care about controller players.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, yeah, you know what? It didn't come out of nowhere. That's where it came from. Now that people on controller are instantly dying when they get stunned because they're way too OP, just like we've been saying, they remove stun grenades very quickly. So cool. Got it. But whatever. Some bug fixes. A big list that I'm not going to read unless anything stands out to you, Tanner.
Well, the biggest one, fix an issue causing higher than intended maximum, mid, and minimum damage values for the PPSH. So there we go. The PPSH has been fixed because it was bugged and killing. It's like the fastest killing gun by quite a bit, close range. So that has been fixed.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we talked about how good the PPSH is. It's because it was, it had unintended high damage. It had a sub 500 millisecond TTK on someone fully plated shooting the toe.
It was sub 400.
Multiplier.
It was sub 400, not 500, wasn't it?
Sub 500 if you shoot toes, sub 400 if you shoot like neck, upper body.
Okay, yeah.
Which is absurd, by the way. Yeah. So for as a basis of comparison, like a Cold War AK is like a 650 millisecond time to kill if you're hitting like all upper chest. So now you can realize, 400 flat, sub 400 is fucking ridiculous. So yeah, the PPSH was really broken. They have fixed it. It's still probably quite good, especially if you don't want to aim and use the hipfire build. I suspect that's still really good, but it's not going to kill. It's not going to just delete people anymore, which is a good change, obviously. So I'll take that. And then also, in addition to that, they have nerfed the PPSH further. Neck damage multiplier, they buffed it, increased to 1.3 up from 1.1. So they fixed the gun's unintended damage, but they added 20% more neck damage multiplier, which is pretty fucking good. And again, really good for the hipfire build, because you imagine, especially with 71 rounds and just shooting like hipfire, you're going to get some neck shots 100% of the time. Every single time you shoot the gun at somebody. If you shoot 10 rounds, a couple are hitting neck. So that's a decent buff.
Yeah.
But also a nerf to the brokenness. So it's still probably, I'm sure, quite good to use. Yeah.
I think you are more likely to aim lower, though, when you're trying to hit fire. You're going to aim like at their stomach or something, because that's probably the easiest shot to hit, or area to hit, and you're not going to miss shots like going over their shoulders or something. But
true.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal, really. You're more likely to hit like neck multiplier, I think, if you're using a ADS build SMG, like a Cold War MP5 or something like that. You're going to aim up there, whereas like a hipfire gun, you wouldn't. So maybe it's fine. I don't know. I don't want the gun to be gutted. It should still be entirely usable. So, and I hope that's where it is.
It sounds like that is the case. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want it to be completely ruined. I don't want any gun ever to be completely ruined. And this change does not sound like that. Just they fixed it, buffed it a little bit. I think it's probably still perfectly usable. So
yeah, a couple more things here. They fixed an issue causing players to freeze in the early stages of the match. That was a huge one, affecting like everyone. And then I don't know what this means. Fixed an issue causing sleight of hand to shorten reload animations on some weapons. Huh?
That is weird. Isn't that the purpose of sleight of hand?
So either they worded it incorrectly and they mean it was raising, or I don't know. Or maybe it was... Go ahead. Maybe they mean the actual animation was showing it quicker than it was actually reloading.
Yeah.
So like it would reload quicker with the animation, your mag would be in the gun, but your gun still wouldn't be reloaded. I
think that's what it means, yeah. Even if the actual reload is faster, the animation was way faster. So they were out of sync. That's what I'm assuming that means.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is fucking annoying. I died once that way with the... What gun is it? The Cooper carbine. With the 60 round mag.
It's, yeah. And that's not with sleight of hand. That gun just does it either way.
That is not with sleight of hand. Correct. Yeah. It got me killed once. I was very upset. Because I'm like... The professional play is to look at the ammo count when you're reloading. But if you're in a gunfight, you want to have eyes on enemy too. So it looked like the reload animation was more than done. And then I started shooting again and I had like 3 bullets left and I was like, oh fuck, dude. And then I died. Yeah. So anyway, whatever. Yeah, those animations need to be synced up better. So yeah.
Mostly there are a lot of good changes today, so that's good to see.
Yeah, for sure. And then another one, fixed an issue causing incorrect stats and pros cons to display for assault rifle alpha Vanguard barrels. Let me go to my chart. Hold on here. Vanguard Greek translator document. Assault rifle alpha. There isn't one. It's assault rifle able. The STG. Okay. So some of the STG barrels had incorrect stats and pros and cons. They don't now in Warzone, supposedly. So that's a good change too. So, okay, that is that for the patch. So overall, good patch, not very big, but the PPSH obviously needed to be nerfed and, well, fixed, and it was, so that's good. Next is a hidden patch note, courtesy of JGod, friend of the pod, longtime listener. He's not. Talking about the Bren, and this is not a surprising thing to learn because Season 2 came out, they nerfed the Bren. Some people tried it anyway, and they were like, man, I don't know, this thing still really fucks. I guess it's because it doesn't have that much recoil. And that was partially true because it didn't have much recoil even after Season 2 came out, and they nerfed the recoil. But here's another chain of events related to the Bren. There's a barrel, the 705 millimeter barrel, Royal Empress Queen Liege barrel, whatever the fuck it's called, 705 millimeter. That at first, when Caldera came out, it gave you no damage drop off. So you did the same damage from 0 meters all the way to 1,000,000 meters. And then they nerfed that pre-season 2. So that barrel then had a damage drop-off. At 35 meters was the drop-off. And then Season 2 came out, and they did a stealth change, reverting that barrel, so that barrel once again has no damage drop-off. So now the Bren is back on its bullshit, and that's why it's been really good, because with that 705 millimeter barrel, you're getting close-range damage values at any range. So, once again, the Bren fucks. They, as far as I know, did not say anything about doing this. It would have been a bad change to do. Therefore, I'm almost certain this was an unintended reversion on that barrel. And I expect it to be I expect the damage drop off to be added into that barrel back again soon. Because if they wanted to revert this change, they would have almost certainly mentioned it, especially on a gun that's as dominant and present on Caldera as the Bren. What are your thoughts on this, Tanner?
Yeah, it's a disaster because the Bren still has less recoil than like an XM4, C58, EM2, and now kills faster still at range than pretty much like all of those. Like I think, what is XM4's time to kill? I think it's like in the 680s or something.
I think XM4 I think is like 7 something.
I thought it was high 60s. Most of the ARs are in like the mid to high 60s. So the fact that this is back to 651, and also it has no recoil, and also you can put a 6x scope on it and still kill people pretty easily. Dog shit. So
yeah,
yeah,
cringe for sure.
Yeah.
So this is courtesy of a JGod YouTube video, which will be linked in the show notes and or video description. By the way, if you wanted to take a look at that. JGod's a good sub on YouTube. He covers a lot of stealth changes, so we'll link that video for your convenience in the show notes.
Yeah.
Now, news and upcoming changes. Some big, shocking developments to cover this week. The TL has been abuzz with some of this news. But we're not there quite yet. Tanner, what is this first item on the docket today?
All right, so we got an announcement straight from Rico. Ricochet has made an announcement here about some things. I haven't really read it yet, so let's read through this. With the global rollout of Ricochet anti-cheat kernel level driver, Warzone saw a significant drop of in-game cheat reporting, according to internal data. Got it. They were able to catch, disable accounts quickly, bringing cheating within Warzone to an all-time low during the holiday break. Really? What lobbies are? Oh, sure, maybe an all-time low, but it's still too many. Raven, you're in the lowest skill-based matchmaking lobbies out there because you guys aren't good at your game.
True.
So of course you're not seeing cheaters. We see them every day still. As time has progressed, cheat developers have looked for new ways to try to exploit the game. Some have succeeded, many have not. Well, a recent rise in cheating is not at the level it was during Verdansk. True. Any increase is frustrating.
Hold on. According to our data, any increase is frustrating. That's hilarious. Hey, you don't need data.
No, they're talking about data from cheating.
Oh, the recent rise is according to their data.
Our team is constantly, it was something you said that was wrong, so you'll for sure edit that out. Yeah. Correct. Our team is constantly monitoring and will continue every effort to prevent and combat this wherever possible. This back and forth is expected, and while anti-cheat is not a magic bullet, this is a battle we're committed to fighting. Okay.
Got it.
Ricochet relies on data to identify cheating behavior and make our ban waves more impactful. As we collect data, again, they're talking about ban waves, meaning Ricochet doesn't ban people out of nowhere as often as we think it should. They're still having to do these ban waves, which to me is not what a kernel level anti-cheat is supposed to do, but what the fuck do I know? As we collect data from our machines determined to be cheating, our goal is to ensure that they aren't taking wins from our deserving community. The fuck does that mean? That's the stupidest thing I've ever read. Yeah, got it. Team Ricochet also uses several in-game mitigations to reduce the impact of cheating players beyond banning accounts. One technique we have been testing is something we call damage shield. When the server detects a cheater is tampering with the game in real time, it disables the cheater's ability to inflict critical damage on other players, which is what we talked about a couple weeks ago. This is them confirming it. This leaves the cheater vulnerable to real players and allows Ricochet to collect information about a cheater's system. Wasn't that also what we had mentioned? I think someone else told us that. Yeah, I think it was someone in chat told me that, and then I said that on the pod. I think it was like Bango. It was like, it actually makes sense because I think that means they're getting more data from, and they're able to. So
they're sniffing the kernels of that person's cheats while they let them cheat, since they know they can't kill anyone anyway.
So whoever said that, you are absolutely correct. I think it was Bango. Blah blah. We track these encounters to ensure there's no possibility for the game to apply a damage shield randomly or by accident, no matter the skill level. Yeah, we haven't seen that
there's
yet.
no skill-based hit
Well,
reg or skill-based damage. Which, to be clear, there probably isn't. But
yeah,
I don't believe that because Activision said so. Because they've flat lied to us many times before. So that means nothing. Yeah. In large-scale game modes, yeah, got it.
To be clear, we will never interfere in gunfights between law-abiding community members, okay? Damage Shield is now out of testing and deployed across the globe. Interesting. So it was in testing, whatever that means. It was in the game, so it wasn't in testing. It was in the game. This is one of the many mitigations we have in-game with more live and in development. Since activating new mitigations in the last few weeks, we have seen a decline in cheat reporting, but we know the work is never done. And they go on, we are proud to announce our security team has made changes to our security enforcement policy for modern PC and console titles within Call of Duty. Going forward, extreme or repeated violations of the security policy, such as in-game cheating, may result in a permanent suspension of all accounts. Additionally, any attempt to hide, disguise, what is that next word? Obfuscate? Obfuscate your identity or the identity of your hardware devices may also result in a permanent suspension. So this is talking about hardware ID bans, essentially. If you use, like, engine owning has hardware ID spoofers. So even if you get banned, you're supposed to be able to use this spoofer to trick Battle.net, Blizzard, Team Ricochet into thinking you're not the same PC when you are. So this is what they're referring to. They're trying to crack down on that and, more permanently ban people. Because it is... These cheaters you see get banned, I mean, that's probably their 90th account, That will stop cheaters more than anything. If they can figure out a way to actually ban someone and these spoofers not work, that will be like the real end to the cheating problem.
True.
Because you'd have to like literally buy a new PC or change out. I think it's based on your motherboard or something is what it is.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, that's pretty. Then some other shit here that doesn't matter. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'm glad to see they confirmed the damage shield shit we had talked about. That is very interesting to see. That's good to see.
And now they're testing a new one. I don't know if this is later in the news here, but I saw a tweet today of a piece of media where it's from the cheater's perspective, and you can see in the Twitter video that the guy is cheating. You can see that he has walls. There's like boxes around every player on the map.
Yeah.
There's indications of plates and ammo, and they all have like numbers next to them denoting how many meters from the player, the cheater, these things are. You can see that he's walling and he's aimbotting. You can tell that he's aimbotting from watching. And he's just fucking frying everyone in the pregame lobby on Rebirth. Just like 9x multi-kill, just free low, whatever. And then the game starts. He drops in, starts shooting some guy that the walls detect. The guy goes invisible. The other player, not the cheater. And then the cheater's bullets stop regging. And then the cheater dies. Because everyone becomes invisible as soon as he starts shooting at them. So this is the new troll. This is the new troll that Team Ricochet is deploying. Just like the damage shield, so that they can allow cheaters to play the game without ruining the game while they sniff the kernels of the cheaters' computers.
That is dope, actually.
And now that I know what they're doing and why they're doing it, I fully support this plan. Because before, one of my criticisms was, if you know they're cheating, why put a damage shield on them or against them? Why not just fucking ban them? But they're saying, wait, we're going to sniff their kernels more, learn as much as we can so that our anti-cheat's better. Okay, fair. And you're not ruining the game. So this is fantastic, actually. And it gives you the added childish benefit of making cheaters mauled, which is deeply amusing to me. It's very amusing when you're boating and walling. You start shooting some guy. He goes invisible, but is still shooting you. And not only can you not see him, but you can't do damage to him while he's fucking your cheating ass. Fantastic. And I especially love that they don't turn this on until the game starts. So you can't just back out of the pregame lobby and switch accounts. It's going to make you waste a little more time, drop into the actual match, and then fuck you. Awesome. Fantastic to see. One thing, though, that I don't like about this post, Going forward, extreme or repeated violations of the security policy, such as in-game cheating, may result in a permanent suspension of all accounts, including MDub, Cold War, Warzone, Vanguard, and future COD titles. Why is this a maybe? If you're sniffing kernels and you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that some asshole is cheating in Cold War, why is it a maybe that you're going to permanently suspend it? Permanent suspension is called a ban, by the way. Why is it not a definite ban, auto ban, permanently of all accounts associated with that hardware ID? Why is this a maybe? I don't understand. I don't believe in this rehabilitation bullshit. If you want to play Call of Duty after you are fucking walling and boating, buy a new system or move. Hopefully we can get geolocation so accurate that you can ban someone's home. Someone's domicile is banned forever from all, not only Call of Duty, but Activision titles in perpetuity. You want a wall? You want a boat in Warzone? Cool, man. If you still live there, you'll never play our games again. Go get a new mortgage, right? Go live elsewhere and then you can play again. That would be acceptable to me. I don't know why this is a maybe, but with that said, that's a fairly small point. All in all, I'm very pleased with this. Yeah, this is good to see.
I almost wonder if this also means they're going to start cracking down on the other shit like unlock tools and stuff, because they're talking about the security policy, the game security policy. That absolutely has to be involved with that. I wonder if pretty soon we're going to see people getting hardware ID or permabanned from doing shit like unlock tools, because I don't think they're going to go back and ban them. That's not going to happen. There's been way too many people that have used it at this point, but I'm wondering if that will be a thing.
I think a lot of streamers would get banned too, like streamers that don't actually cheat but they did like an unlock tool, which is cheating, I guess, but who cares?
I don't think a lot of them actually use an unlock tool so much as have someone else do it for them. Yeah. Like the big people, they like Swag, he didn't get it himself. Huskers has it, he didn't get it himself. I don't think either of them use an unlock tool. They just have people that do this shit for them, like their assistants or whatever.
Yeah, true. You might be right, actually.
But yeah, there's like, there's these dudes that average a good amount on Twitch, 75, 100 viewers that have Atomic, but you've never seen them play Vanguard once. So it's like someone like that, yeah, they probably use an unlock tool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but still, overall, this is good. I'm glad we're getting communication on the Ricochet anti-cheat front. And this is the kind of shit, again, that Tanner and I have been begging Activision to do related to Call of Duty in general since this podcast started, was talk to us. And it's nice for them to acknowledge there are more cheaters now. Like right now, there's a real uptick in cheating and they're acknowledging it. Cool. That actually does make me feel better about dying to boaters in Warzone. Maybe it shouldn't, but it does. It's like, okay, well, at least I know that fucking Activision is aware that all these cheaters are back and they're not just completely out of the loop on this topic. So I'm glad too, again, and I will always stress this because I think it's really important, that even if I don't like the content of what Activision ever tells us, I'm always happy that they are telling us something. But in this case, I also like the content of what they're telling us. So this is good to see. And I like it. And expect soon, by the way, for them to make a similar post about the experimental making legit players invisible to cheaters thing as well, because that is 100% another Ricochet little trick to keep deeply inhaling kernels, which I love.
Yeah.
And then the question becomes, what other fun and exciting anti-cheat trolling can Activision do? So you make your bullets not do damage, you make other people invisible, that's fun. I think obviously next would be your bullets literally ricochet if you're cheating.
And kill you.
So if you're landing all headshots, you're not doing damage to them, you're doing it to your own head, and you just instantly aimbot down yourself.
That could be funny.
That would be deeply amusing, yeah. But But I don't know what other fun and exciting trolls they could do. What would you like to see? How would you like to troll cheaters if you were in charge of Ricochet?
I would like if they were cheating to all of a sudden like the whole map just disappear and their characters just like in a black hole with just they can't see anything, they can't hear anything. They're just walking around nothing. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? They think like their game's bugged or crash, but it's no, they were just thrown in a black hole.
Yeah, that would be fun. A jump scare? That would be cool.
Well, they didn't
so
end up
all
killing
of a
someone
sudden
and getting sued.
Well, you could write in the terms of service, if you cheat in our game, you hereby absolve us of any liability on your well-being and life.
Yeah.
So then if they're cheating, then they take it to court and they say, well, they broke the terms of service, so we were allowed to do it. They agreed that we would be absolved of liability. A giant jump scare where, like, I don't know, the fucking exorcist lady just jumps out at your screen and you just shit your pants. That would, and it's like super loud too. Super loud scream, breaks your speakers, just fucking fries them. There's a lot of fun and exciting things they could do, but I'm very deeply pleased with this. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, moving on here. Next article. This is an interesting title. It's from Charlie Intel. Warzone and Vanguard leaks claim King Kong and Godzilla crossover coming soon. Got
Sick,
it.
Man.
Let me get to where we were at. According to two COD leakers, Dipshit and Dipshit Jr., the developers are set to add King Kong to both Vanguard and Warzone through an upcoming in-game event. We've already seen the developers add another famous beast into the past during the Krampus event. Got it. So if this is anything like Krampus, then I won't be playing Warzone when this is in the game. Further, reliable source Tom Henderson revealed that Godzilla could also be coming to Warzone with King Kong. Tom states he saw another image of Godzilla, and it showed them destroying troops below with a bright blue beam. Huh?
Sick, man.
Oh, no.
I actually don't think, at the time of this writing, this is all purely speculation based on leaks. I believe it, though. Honestly, this does not sound as crazy as it might at first, because you can think of King Kong behaving exactly the way the armored convoys will in Warzone. It's going to be some AI that shoots at people that walks on a path. That's what the armored convoys do. I could easily see Godzilla being a reskinned armored convoy. It walks on a set path. It has a lot of health. If you get close, it does damage to you. If you kill it, it drops loot.
Yeah, true.
Hopefully. Fact that it's King Kong and hopefully, because the fact that they're both King Kong and Godzilla, which are both fucking giant animals, implies that it fortunately will not be like Krampus, where he just personally hunts you and fucks your ass.
Yep.
These are such big fictitious creatures that I think they would be more like armor convoy kind of style. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
It could, because they've been doing more of the AI shit recently too, with Factory and the bunkers and stuff like that. So it is possible, that's also kind of almost a testing ground for more future things like this, like more events. But if it was something like they're actually massive and like attack you, that could be fun for like a little LTM for a couple days. But obviously it's like, don't put that in regular BR. Let's stop there. But
yeah, that needs to be in Vanguard Royale, swatting planes.
That would be dope. Yeah. And that's one of the images that one of the leakers made. It's King Kong, and he's like swatting bomber planes out of the air as they fly over peak. So yeah, cool. Got it. We'll see that in
it's just silly.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
And random, by the way. Like King Kong and Godzilla. Like,
it's just
how do
like
you think of this shit? It has nothing to do with Call of Duty. It's so weird.
It's just probably it's all business. Like they want to do a partnership with business. Yeah. It's like like all the shit Fortnite does with all these skins and fucking concerts in the game. It's all just business in the game. Warp a business for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say on this topic. I mean,
cool.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It won't matter that much no matter what. So, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
What do we got next here, Tanner?
All right, here's we're the meat and potatoes here. So this is coming straight from Jason Bloomberg reporter. Scoop.
Got it.
This was posted 2 days ago, February 22nd. For the first time in 2 decades, Call of Duty will skip a year. Activision has delayed 2023's game made by Treyarch to 2024, sources tell Bloomberg. It's a shocking move that will have a massive impact on the franchise and the industry. And of course, there is a link to Bloomberg article that you have to pay for. So we can't read the whole article. I'm not giving Bloomberg a fucking penny. So we can't read the entire article. But that's the gist of it. Not this title this year. Treyarch's game that was set to come out next year has been delayed a year. Holy shit, man. This is causing an absolute uproar. What are your initial thoughts on this?
So my initial thoughts, my gut reaction, or my reflexive reaction, there's a phrase I'm looking for, I can't think of it. Knee-jerk reaction, there it is. It was, oh wow, we're moving to a 2-year development cycle in perpetuity now. However, Tanner was like, we don't really know what this means, and this could even mean that we get MW 2222 in November 22, and then we get whatever Black Ops 5 in like January of 2024, which would only be a couple months after an expected release, and that would be virtually annual, because it would be like it would come out 14 or 15 months after the last title, not necessarily 24 months. That is something worth considering. I'm not sure how likely that is, but it is possible that that is what 2024 means, because it could be, again, early or even mid 2024.
Yeah.
Maybe they're making Call of Duty life cycles a year and a half in perpetuity, because you have to remember that Call of Duty games have 3 main developers, and that's why they've had a game come out every year, unlike Battlefield or Halo every 3 years, because they only have 1 development studio. So in Battlefield, roughly, just go with me. Battlefield has 1 developer, 1 primary developer. They release a game, they design the next game, it takes 3 years, it comes out 3 years later. If you have 3 developers, they can all spend 3 years developing their title, and then it comes out to 1 title per year. But if you have 3 developers still, which it seems like they're going to continue to do, and then you make the life cycle 2 years, what does that mean functionally? They're going to spend 6 years. Each development studio is going to spend 6 years developing their Call of Duty title. That sounds very surprising.
Yeah,
and
that doesn't make
almost like
sense.
too much time, and they don't need that much time.
Yeah, what is this, fucking Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah,
They just
like
reskin the same shit.
Yeah, and which is what they're going to do anyway. So they don't need 6 years to do this shit. They're not doing dialogue and voice acting and fucking, quest logs and all this kind of shit that, like, you could expect maybe from an RPG like Grand Theft Auto. So maybe they're just delaying this one game a couple months, and it happens to fall on calendar 24, and they're making a whole to-do about it. That's possible. Maybe that title will actually be releasing 2 years after MW 2, but they don't do that in perpetuity. They just need to play catch up for a year. That's possible also. Or maybe they're doing something like a 1.5 year life cycle now. And that would mean each dev team gets an additional, year? Wait, let me do math. 1.5, 3, 4.5. So they would get, each development team would get an extra 18 months to develop a Call of Duty game, and that would amount to a 1.5 year release cycle. which I think is also very possible, that could actually be good, because I think an extra 18 months is time they probably need, because every game that's come out has been a buggy disaster. But an extra 3 years, I do not think that is going to be meaningful. I think at that point you have too much time to just make a fucking shooter that works.
Exactly.
So, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and then, another thing kind of going around is Sledgehammer, is this partly because, well, obviously it's because Vanguard had a shit release and it hasn't met their expectations at all. Activision is pissed about it. I've seen some people talking about maybe this even means Sledgehammer is being kicked off as the main studio dev. But that also doesn't make any sense, because then that leaves you with only 2 dev studios. So even if it's a 2-year life cycle, they're still going to have less time to develop the game. So I don't think that's the case. No way you look at it, this makes sense from my perspective. It's either, they have entirely too much time to develop the game and they're working 10 hours a week.
Or 2 years instead of 3.
Yeah, or, So I have so many thoughts. I don't know exactly where I sit. It's like people automatically think, because they don't think about anything. They say, oh, longer dev time means the game going to be better. Got it. Look at MW 2019 from launch 1 year later. How much better was the game? Was it game-changing? Was it that much better? Cold War, launch day to 1 year later. Was it that much better? Still trash. Vanguard, launch day to right now, almost 4 months later. Worse than launch, actually. Yeah. So the fact that people just automatically think an extra year of development time is going to suddenly make the game perfect, are out of their minds. I don't think it will. Because at the end of the day, all these studios are doing is following Activision's vision of what they want to see in a game, and they're kind of telling them what they want. So it's like, I don't think it really has that big of an impact. I don't know.
I agree.
The whole thing is just weird. So it's like, I don't know if this is just a one-off or if they're going to do this from now on. No way I look at it can I make sense of how this is going to work. Because it's like, Vanguard didn't meet expectations. Sledgehammer is just fucking lost, and it's obvious they're incapable of turning this around from what I've seen. It's been like 4 months since the game came out. We've had like no substantial changes. Every patch is just more bug fixes to fix what they broke in the last patch. They barely fixed camo shit. When they released the CDL skins yesterday, people were buying CDL skins and it was giving them an entirely different team's CDL skins. It's just, everything they do is just terrible. So like that it kind of makes sense thinking maybe Sledgehammer is being demoted as a lead dev and they're just fucking gone and maybe they're going to move to a support studio. But then how does that work with only Infinity Ward and Treyarch? Then they'll have less time again to develop the games.
Exactly, yeah. And then they maybe they replace Sledgehammer, but then we're back to the original question of, does each primary dev studio, Sledgehammer or not, need fucking 6 years to make a multiplayer shooter?
Yeah.
I just don't believe it. And I don't like Tanner said,
no way.
I don't think an extra year delay between games is going to account for a much better game.
Well, because,
I don't.
Because the thing that they're going to do is they're going to try to add more content in. They're not going to worry about the core game working. The game will still launch with no mini-map like MDub almost did, no matter they have an extra year to design or not. What are they going to do? There's going to be more operators in the game. There's going to be more maps on launch. And then that's going to lead to an even buggier launch probably because they had way more time to add more shit in the game. And then they're going to spend the next 2 years patching all of it, which is why they need a 2-year life cycle for the game because it won't be fixed within a year. So I don't know. I don't think this is necessarily a good thing. Everyone is automatically, oh, this is great for the game. I don't think people really put time into thinking about how it will work for the dev studios to, I don't know. It's just such a stupid thing to automatically assume, in my opinion. But what else was I going to say here? Yeah, it's my other thing is I almost wonder if Treyarch came to Activision and was like, listen, we're not doing this shit again. Cold War was rushed. It was a terrible video game. They have to know that. BO4, I think, was also rushed, similar to Cold War. I wonder if they're just essentially telling Activision. No
campaign.
Yeah.
They scrapped the campaign, yeah.
I wonder if they're just at the point now where it's like, our last 2 games have been terrible because we've been rushed. Can we please get an extra year to develop this game? And Activision's like, maybe we should do it now that we see what's happened with Vanguard. Maybe it's time we should give Treyarch an extra year to develop their game. And then it also lines up with this next title being a Modern Warfare title, which will be a very popular game no matter how bad the game launches. It will sell great. There will be a lot of people playing it. If it's anything similar to MW 2019, you know, one of the most liked Call of Duties of all time, one of the most played Call of Duties of all time, you know, it's like that's probably the best case scenario for a game to get a longer life cycle if there's only going to be one. And there's been, you know, a lot of... all the leakers, they said this shit about Vanguard too, but they're also all saying what a great state MW 22222 is in right now, and so that could be part of it. Maybe Activision is actually shocked at how well the game's development is going, so they're like, okay, this game we can support for longer than a year. It'll hold the player base. We'll give Treyarch more time to regain and develop a proper video game, because their last two games have been dog shit. Is it entirely their fault? Definitely not. Activision, you know, they've just kind of been fucked in dev time, especially with Cold War. That was like, what, they had like a year and a half to develop that game or something crazy. So that's
true too. And it is possible, because a lot of people, myself included, just assume that if one game is a full 24 months releasing after its prior Call of Duty game, that we're just going to do that forever. And it is possible that they're just like, we're not going to release a game in 2024, but we're going to go back to annual in 2025. Like, they're just going to give one game a 2-year life cycle and then go back to yearly, which would mean, again, giving each dev studio 3 years per game. But they're just going to give every dev studio right now an extra year to play a little catch up. And then they're going to go back to every year releases. That's also entirely possible too. And that I could be on board with. And it kind of does make sense too when you think about what we recently talked about, which was Activision talking about how they are developing a brand new engine for MW 2022 222. If they have this new engine and they plan on utilizing it for a very long time, then maybe they're going to be like, okay, we have a new engine now. We're going to give Treyarch extra time to like use the engine and integrate it or whatever. And then also give Sledgehammer extra time to develop their game with that engine and whatever. But then once 2025 rolls around and the Treyarch title is released, now that we're all up to speed, we've gotten an extra year to integrate with this new engine, we're going to stay on annual again. I think that is entirely possible too. And I would even say likely. Yeah. Because if they are moving to a new COD every 2 years rather than every 1 year, they are losing a lot of revenue doing that. And they know that. No matter how bad a Call of Duty game is, it is also the number one selling game of all video games for that entire year, always. Vanguard is the biggest selling video game of the year 2021, and it came out a month before the year ended. So they know that if they only release a game once every 2 years, they are leaving a fuck ton of money on the table. And if they are going to once every 2 years for now, they have a plan to get that revenue some other way. They're not just going to stop releasing shit games, because let's be clear, Activision doesn't care if the game is good or not. They don't give a fuck. They're not going to wait an extra year and leave all that money on the table every single year to make sure their game is good. That's fucking hilarious. If their game is selling a lot, it could be dog shit. Doesn't matter to them because they're making money. So if they are going to once every 2 years, it is because they also have a plan to make all the money they would otherwise make by selling a game every year and make something else that's going to make them a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, of course.
Which means more content. So if we are going to a COD every other year, then there will be something to fill in that gap that is going to raise them an equivalent amount of money in their eyes, which means it's going to be something else. Some other game mode, a zombies title every other year, some shit like that, to get that money that they would be losing by not releasing a game every year. So even if it does go to once every 2 years, whatever they plan to replace that lost revenue with will be something to play and something they plan on making a lot of money with. And that different additional content could be really good and fun. Maybe this is the battle royale, or the sandbox Tarkov mode they were talking about. Maybe that's going to be the thing that comes out every other year to fill in those gaps if we're going to a 2-year cycle. And that's what's going to make them a lot of money in the stead of an annual release. And maybe that's a fuck ton of fun. And then people are going to go from the COD to the sandbox to the COD year to year to year to year. That could be good. Depends on if the mode is good or if the game is good or whatever it is. But they're not just going to go to 2 years just to make the game better. You're out of your fucking mind if you think that. They're not leaving that money on the table unless they plan to do something else in that year to get an equivalent or greater amount of money in the meantime. And that could be good for us.
Well, that's also why I think, this is very likely just a one-off, at least for now, is because there's rumored to be that shit coming later, which we'll get to in a second here. But, the other thing is with Warzone 2 coming out either later this year or early next year, they know the majority of the player base is going to be on that. Warzone's going to be extremely popular again. Not that it has ever really lost popularity. People say dead game. It's not. It's still the most popular game. So they kind of maybe realize like now is the chance to try to revitalize multiplayer. They see the player counts on Vanguard, as you were just saying. They have sold so many copies of Vanguard, the top selling video game of last year. But yet no one's playing it still. That's what they're saying. They're not selling bundles and shit from it. That's why they're like, oh, fuck, no one's buying these Vanguard bundles or spending money on that game specifically because it's dog shit. So, yeah, we made a bunch of money selling the game, but now people aren't on it still. We're not making any more money aside from the initial influx. So, maybe that's their goal kind of, is to try to revitalize multiplayer, maybe take a step back, think about other things, another game mode. Who knows? Maybe Treyarch is working on maybe it's a jetpack type game or wall running type game, and it takes longer and it's harder to develop than a normal boots on the ground game, something like that even, and maybe they're having issues with it. Could be a number of things. We'll actually never know, but my last thing on this is, the community always acts like they want a longer life cycle. Even though we've never had that before. And so it's like people are bored.
I was going to say this too, yeah.
Of the newest game within 4 months of launch. You guys listening, how many of you are still playing Vanguard that played it the first week? I'm barely playing it. Raz is barely playing it. But you guys, imagine if we were stuck with Vanguard for 2 years. What are you going to do then? You're going to bitch and say it needs to go back to a 1-year cycle. That's the other thing I think people don't think about is, can you guys really handle 2 years? Because you haven't ever. A new COD has came out every single year since Call of Duty 1 in 2004, 2005, 2003, something like that. And you've never not had a new title every year. It's the COD cycle. You bitch about the current game a few months into it. So it's like, why would you think you can handle 2 years of that suddenly? You're out of your fucking mind and you're lying to yourself if you think you can. Even if the new game is shit, you're gonna play it on launch. You get excited like everyone. Yeah. And then you hate it shortly after. So what's going to happen if Modern Warfare 2.2.2.2 is as bad as Vanguard? You're going to be excited to play that for 2 years? Got it. Yeah. Okay. The comp community, the CDL hated Modern Warfare. They hate Vanguard too. They like Cold War the most out of those three, because I think it's mostly because of the time to kill. So it's like those guys are going to have to play this shit for 2 years. Oh my God. It's going to be the end of the CDL. They can barely play it for the whatever 5-6 months out of the game's life cycle that their tournaments are going on. 2 years of that shit? No way. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the overall point to take away from all of this is that whether you think a 2-year development cycle is a good thing because the devs need fucking 6 years to make an FPS game, which they don't, is good, or you think it's bad because you like that there's an annual COD and you get excited every year and it keeps the franchise super fresh and there's always something new. No matter where you stand on this topic, if they go to they are not going to slow down the absolute cash cow that is Call of Duty. That is not what's happening here. So they're not just going to go to a 2-year cycle and then like that's it. Like they're going to replace that with something else. They're going to make this COD train keep giving them infinite dollars because that's what it's currently doing. So no matter what your position is, make no mistake, this does not mean Call of Duty as a franchise is slowing down in any way, shape, or form. It is here to stay. They are making so much goddamn money on this that if they are going to 2 years forever, it's for a fucking reason. And if they're going to 2 years just once, it is also for a reason. And that reason is to get them more money in the end. That is always their goal. And that would mean more content.
Yeah.
In some capacity. So this is, no matter what, if you're a fan of Call of Duty, don't worry. Call of Duty's not slowing down. Trust me. They're making way too much money to slow this shit down.
They're trying to do more, if anything, now. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So them delaying the game, whether, again, it's just this one or in perpetuity, is to give them space to do even more shit, just like Tanner said. Yes. They're going to milk Call of Duty as much as they possibly can. This is why really good movies at the box office that sell really well get sequels they didn't intend to make that are dog shit, because the fucking movie sold way more than they thought it would, and they want to keep milking that cash cow. They will continue to do that for Call of Duty. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. So Jason says some other shit. We'll get into the top one here in a second. This decision was made independently of Microsoft. They're not owned by Microsoft yet. There's some people that were thinking that, oh, Microsoft's already changing things. No, not even close to being their company yet. Call of Duty Vanguard underperformed, and Activision executives have been concerned about the games cannibalizing one another, sources say.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. That was basically what we already talked about. I guess we can hit this. This is another thing for Charlie Until. This is from the Bloomberg article that we can't read because we're not paying for it. Activision Blizzard will delay Call of Duty game that have been planned for next year. For the first time, the franchise will be without an annual mainline, keep in mind, mainline release in nearly 2 decades, according to people familiar with the plan. The company is pushing off the release after a recent entry in the series failed to meet expectations, leading some execs to believe they're introducing new versions too rapidly, said the people who asked to not be identified because they weren't authorized to discuss this. The decision itself was not related to Activision being sold to Microsoft.
Yeah.
So yeah, mainline release. As Raz was saying, sure, even if it ends up being 2 years in between every game, there would be something every single year that does come out, some sort of free-to-play title, some new crazy mode that will keep bringing in the money, because it would not make any sense for them from a cash standpoint. No fucking way. Even if you have way more hype and you sell way more copies every 2 years, you're still, in the end, selling less copies of video games than if you do it every year.
Yeah, you wouldn't be selling double the amount you would have.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And also, annual earnings is like super important for Borpa businesses.
Yeah.
So they're not just going to like, even if they released every 2 years and every other year they got twice as much money so that it was like a wash, they still wouldn't want to do that as a business because they have like the annual shareholder shit and like dividends or something. Borpa business. I don't know how it works, but I do know that like annual earnings calls or reports and shit are super important to like their stock price and stuff.
Yeah.
And that amounts to like cash flow for them, or at least valuation or something. So even if they would expect to make double the amount of money per title if they did it every 2 years and therefore it was a net even, that would still be less preferable than releasing every year for the same amount of money for those reasons. So they're still not going to do that. There's no way. Like we've just been saying, they're going to be replacing that income with something else.
Yeah.
1,000%. Which could be even better, by the way, because a lot of these Call of Duty games lately have been dog shit. So if they want to spread those out every 2 years and then release some different attempt at something new and innovative and fun on the interim years, maybe that's good. Maybe they have a great idea. Maybe the sandbox mode is fun as fuck, and that becomes the new Warzone that everyone's super hyped about and everyone's playing and streaming and shit.
Exactly.
That would be great. let's try it. Fuck it. You know? So yeah, this is not bad. It's just shocking. And there are still obviously a lot of questions, but we'll keep you guys posted as more details trickle in over the next few months, I'm assuming. But it's different. I would even say this is good. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Activision changing up the Call of Duty formula is good, because even the formula as a whole for the last 3 years has felt kind of stale. New game comes out, I play it, it's fun for a little while, it's dog shit. Go back to Warzone, it's a buggy disaster full of cheaters. Get excited for the next game. Game comes out, have fun for a little bit, it's dog shit. Just ad nauseum. So, you know, let's change things up and just see what fucking happens. Sure, I'm down. I think that's better than the status quo at this point.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next on to another thing here from the same guy, Jason. Sentiment I've heard from folks at Treyarch is that they're extremely excited about getting an extra year. In 2019, I wrote a story that in part talked about how difficult they found the rust schedule of Black Ops 4. This is the opposite situation. So this is cool for them, because they do seem to always be getting fucked. They have the shortest cycle to develop a game, and then everyone blames them for it, including me. Because even if, I mean, don't like oh fuck, why can't I not think of his name? What's the Treyarch guy's name?
Vundy? Vunderhar?
Vundy had us all thinking Cold War was a good game, so I can't wait to show you guys what we've been working on.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind, dude. You know that was a shit game. Stop lying
shut
to
the
us,
fuck
you
up
fucking
before you
prick.
release it.
Terrible games. Just stop. But so that is cool. But yeah, I mean, Cold War could have had 6-8 years to develop, and it still would have been a dog shit game, you know? So.
Because of choices they made, not because of development time restrictions. You guys chose to give snipers aim assist and no flinch.
And
if you had 6 years or 6 decades to develop it, you still made that decision and would have made that decision. And that is in large part why that game was dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with a lack of time. It was a lack of brain cells doing dumb fucking decisions like that. Yeah, exactly.
And it's shit like that would not change with a longer development cycle. So Treyarch's game will come out. Maybe it'll be more polished on launch, as I said, more maps. So what's going to happen? It's going to be filled with a bunch of shitty decisions and shitty bugs, as usual. That is not going to change. Ever. Ever, that's not going to change. Rockstar is about the only development studio that can put out a game with very few bugs. No one else can do it. Certainly not an Activision studio. So, Charlie Intel says, for what it's worth, Activision executives never felt the need to stop the yearly Call of Duty releases because the games would make $1 billion in a few weeks until Vanguard. Yeah. Boy, yeah. Okay, so then a little bit more into this free-to-play title. Bloomberg says Activision to release another free-to-play Call of Duty title next year, which sounds separate from Warzone. So they said Activision is working on other projects to fill the gap next year. Of course, they're not going to go a year. So it'll be a free-to-play something, and you guys will spend millions of dollars on microtransactions. Call of Duty game is set to come out this fall and will receive a steady stream of additional content. That's MDub 222222. And there will be a new free-to-play online title next year, said the people. Treyarch, the Activision-owned studio working on the now-delayed game, will also help with the free-to-play title, the people said. So here's the thing. I hear that, and my first initial thought was, oh shit, I wonder if this is the standalone zombies thing that was rumored first sometime last year, that Activision was definitely working on a standalone zombies title. I don't know what that is. The only thing is it says Treyarch is going to be helping on that. You would think Treyarch would be leading it, but you never know how the way they word these things or how it gets told. So it could be that. It could be this new Tarkov sandbox mode that's coming out next year. Could be that. We don't know, but of course something big will come out next year. And again, besides Warzone 2, that's what's going to keep people interested for 2 years. No, people will be off the new Modern Warfare multiplayer title after a number of months and won't care and won't want the next multiplayer game to come out already. But there's going to be plenty of other shit going on. So that's exciting. Yeah, we have no idea what it is.
Yeah. I think it is more likely to be that sandbox mode they talked about than the standalone zombies game, because we had heard from leakers about a standalone zombies game coming out at a time, but we never heard that from Activision. But what we did hear from Activision was talk about the sandbox mode. That implies to me heavily that whatever this thing is, this free-to-play thing, is going to be the sandbox mode. Because another thing, too, is how much money could they expect to make from a free-to-play zombies game?
Yeah,
not much.
True. Not a whole lot.
Because zombies has less replayability than anything multiplayer where you can fight other people.
Yep.
And they have to know that. Like, you're not going to buy bundles for skins for zombies when you're not, like, playing that with other people. Or if you are, it's with your friends who don't give a shit about your skin anyway. It's going to be in lobbies full of other people that you're going to sell the most microtransactions, and that's going to have the most replayability. A standalone zombies title seems like something they would absolutely charge $60 for.
Yeah.
Because that would be the biggest way they make money from that. If it's free to play, we all know the free to play formula. You release a game that's free, you sell cosmetic, you give it insane fun replayability, which means usually rankings, multiplayer, fighting other people, and then you sell cosmetics, and then you get a fuck ton of money. I don't think zombies has the potential for microtransaction sales that it would need to replace an annual Call of Duty release. So I am very heavily leaning toward whatever the fuck this is. It's probably not zombies. It's probably the sandbox mode that they've already alluded to.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
That's my guess. Yeah. Or both. A sandbox game with zombies roaming around the map. So instead of scavs, it's zombies. And then you're playing your sandbox Tarkov-like mode against zombies.
That's pretty dope. I would like that. That could be fun.
Fucking cool, by the way. That would be super fun. Yeah.
That could be
But
dope.
it wouldn't be traditional zombies. But yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, so with all that being said, Activision released a statement that said, quote, "We have an exciting slate of premium and free-to-play Call of Duty experiences for this year, next year, and beyond. Reports of anything otherwise are incorrect. We look forward to sharing more details when the time is right." So they didn't just straight come out and say, no, there's a game coming out next year, or no, this is just entirely wrong. They just said premium and free-to-play coming out this year and next year, whatever that means. So I think if this wasn't true, I don't know if Bloomberg has ever had a leak like this, and when it comes to Call of Duty, that was wrong. So I 100% trust this. I would trust what this guy says over what Activision tells us, actually. So, this isn't directly denying it. They could have said, no, there's a COD coming out next year. You'll hear about it at a point. But they didn't. And so I think that pretty much confirms it.
Yeah, agreed.
And,
sure.
Then last thing here, court filings between Activision Blizzard and California, the state of California. The trial for the lawsuit is set to begin February of 2023. And I believe that's the lawsuit for all of this shit going on. The
harassment, right?
Yeah, all the cubicle crawling and all that. So
yeah,
we are looking at more than a year until that trial begins. So by then, no one will care. Bobby will be out of the picture just about. And, hey, maybe it won't even go to trial.
By Microsoft now.
It may not even go to trial at this point
Microsoft
anymore.
like,
There may be changes in the next year, and they're like, oh, never mind. Bobby's gone. We don't care anymore. Bobby's not getting his secretaries murdered anymore. It's okay.
Yeah. Which is what we told you, by the way. We told you this when we covered the story. I was like, we're not going to see any news on this for so long because law is real fucking slow. So,
fuck the law.
There you go.
Lawless society.
And the Fed. Anarcho-capitalism.
And the Fed, Ron Paul,
I'm
2024.
I'm not an anarcho-capitalist, by the way. It's a joke. Yeah. Okay. Well, Tanner, anything else you'd like to discuss? Got it. All right, that's it, boys and girls. Reminder, the Dropshot Invitational number 4 is on March 5th at a time. Join the Discord. There's a rules and signups document where you can see all the information for the tournament, whether you wanted to spectate or compete. And there are still competitor slots open. The Dropshot Invitational number 4 is invite only, but we will invite any patron who wants to play. So if you're a patron, you can sign up. The signups are, again, in Discord in the rules document. We have plenty of slots available, but signups end the 25th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So Friday is your last day to sign up. So get your squad, fill that sucker out. We will not be accepting late signups. And for those of you who do not want to participate, mark your calendars, March 5th, time. thedropshot.com/live. We'll be live streaming the Dropshot Invitational number 4. It is going to be fun and exciting, and we are very, very much looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are we just only doing one pod next week then? I guess so, huh?
We'll figure it out on Monday. Follow the Twitter at the Dropshot Pod. We'll post the schedule there. We also have the schedule now in Discord. There is an events little section at the very top of the list of channels in our Discord that says events, that is always updated, and it shows the times, topics, dates of all podcasts, gameplay streams, and special events such as the Dropshot Invitational number 4. Reminder, last and most importantly, patreon.com/thedropshot is the best way to support the show. We butter the most of our bread through Patreon. We also offer all of our bonus content through Patreon. We do 7 bonus episodes a month. We do monthly planned scheduled hangouts, which are a lot of fun, and more. So if you wanted to support the program, get a lot of extra content to listen to while you're watching the news and are sad, then, or at work and are sad, or thinking about your broken, disheveled family life and are sad, you can do that. There's a ton of extra bonus content, fire content on the Patreon. So patreon.com/thedropshot, 7 bonus eps a month and more. Check out that site for all of the details, or just go to thedropshot.com. You can find links to everything there, including the Patreon, the Discord, the Twitter, and our fire merch store. We still have some large t-shirts. We've got some coffee mugs, and then we've got plenty of hoodies, extremely high caliber hoodies. And that is a great way to support the show as well. And some stickers. Add a sticker to every purchase. Boys and girls, that is it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.